Okay, now diving to the demos. Starting from the GitHub repository, from the organization of abstraction dev, we pick the ball on Azure repository and then follow on the README text that's always kept up to date with how you deploy and start running. We follow the command line guidance. It's because we need the command line tooling for submodule updates and take advantage also of the automated build commands. So we deploy from github.com abstraction dev the ball on Azure, getting cloned. It takes a while. First it clones the root repository, then there are several git submodules within, so we cd to here and give the git update project command as well. It might take a while if the network is poor or GitHub is busy, but basically it fetches all the submodules in a kind of consistent state to the latest versions. All the submodules are actually in the Git complete repositories, so in occasion where there would be compatibility issues for some reason, you can always revert back to older version of the submodule. After the submodules are done, we build all the solutions with the build all CMD that does few solution builds and runs the abstraction generators. Then we open in admin mode the Azure deployment solution and start the debugging to emulators so that we get ensure that the storage is up and running and our workers are up and running. Then we update the ball demo with a command that actually pushes the worker role accelerator content to the blob storage, which updates the workers to be the ones that we want. And let's move forward still to see what then we upload the templates, web templates in a local developer storage, build the full solution, start debugging the service interface, and if the default page doesn't show up, we can browse the actual starting page. We should get the Google login forwards, and that's about running the whole system. Then we can briefly see how we can run also the HTML project as is to get the same experience, but without requiring any kind of connection to Azure, just the web server stack. So now we issue the build all command that simply builds first the ADM project, then it runs the ADM project's abstraction builder, then it builds the main project, and then finally it builds the actual Azure configuration deployment that of course consists part of the other projects. Then we run the Visual Studio as an administrator. And let's see if we can do it in a neat way. We pull this solution, Azure configuration solution. No, it doesn't allow us to pull it from here. So then we open it from my TMP folder. This is the fresh one. Here. And right now, before running it, our developer storage account is completely empty. It doesn't have any blob containers, it doesn't have any queues, all the tables are just default metrics tables. So we go and choose developer emulator as a startup project and start debugging it, which will then launch in our compute emulator fresh workers relatively fast manner. I had this started beforehand, but there was no deployment available. So going back to the guidance, we then update the ball demo local to get the worker accelerators on. Update the ball demo local. Copies over few things on the blob storage. They actually appear here in the accelerator storage that allows the accelerator to run that particular our worker. Once they are initiated, they appear. They also create the default queues, so it takes about 30 seconds maximum when they pull the actual storage to run up and start the queues. Here, and from the statistic queue we can verify this timestamp of ours, which is 2050 finish time, that these two workers just started up. Following the guidance, then we upload some templates into the system. So these are just the HTML templates that we can now verify are also in our containers. So there is another container, the ball demo, that consists in our sys area web templates for account that we just uploaded. Okay, now opening the main solution and starting the actual debug. This we can do from here, starting the ball on Azure, just double clicking it. So here is the main working, the coding happening once it loads up. So we seek for this service interface, set it as a startup project, and then start debugging. It could allow any OpenID provider here. The Google is kind of shortcutted, so I use my Google account or Gmail account. I toggle the remember me off so that I know when it's going to ask every time. We have a cookie stored for the authentication so that it expires only once after 30 to 60 minutes or so. So it's not going to ask all the time. Clearing the cookie helps if you for some reason want to retest the system. So now it gets me actually to account area. We can verify from the storage that refreshing it here now actually has the account stuff for our actual website and the web template and some objects as well. So basically we have the ball demo hello world container here with just a master collection, no content, and then we have the metadata stuff in here, subscriptions and some other things that we'll see on other demos. Now in this demo I'll still create few hello worlds. So hello world td post presentation, creating it won't populate the page immediately. What it does, however, is if we refresh here again on the actual container, we actually have a one hello world object, and even the actual collection is updated. So this happened on the last second of the minute, these 2 seconds after. That's done by the workers. So now if I refresh here, I actually get the new content here. Again, hello again, creating it again, same thing. It won't immediately update, but pretty much after it updates, and again through first introducing object here, then updating the master collection. Same thing with the deletes. If I go and delete this hello again, nothing happens here first, but here is the hello world object gone, and here is the collection again updated, so that if I now refresh, it's gone. This part for the main demo, we'll dive deeper on the same parts thoroughly, looking at them, how the architecture is built to make that functionality.